Alright folks, welcome back to Fat Dad Racing. I'm your resident Fat Dad here in Spielberg, Austria. This, or better known as the RedBull Ring. This is the F1 track that is owned by the RedBull Racing Team. Or the Red Bull Corporation. Somebody. Anyway, somebody with a Red Bull title owns this track. And I'm in a, what do they call this thing? A P3. It's a weird little car. It's got a big rear wing. It's open cockpit. It's kind of like a teeny little baby Le Mans or something, or Le Mans, or whatever how they pronounce that. It's kind of like something. It's kind of like that. It's a funky little car, but it's fun and it's twitchy in the best kind of way, if that makes any sense. It's twitchy, but it's manageable. Yeah, I don't know. That's the only way I can describe the handling dynamic. It's twitchy but manageable, and it's fun to drive. Actually, builds decent speed, and you can get up to decent. I think on this track you can get up to 130 something or whatever, which is pretty good in real life. It'd probably feel and crazy fast because this is a teeny little car. It's really close to the ground with that open cockpit. I bet when you're going that fast in this car in the real deal, you probably feel like you're in a rocket ship. I had a good qualifying run. Right now I'm sitting on pole. I didn't record the qualifying. I don't know why, just because I guess. So, but anyway, I'm right there. You can see the standings, and right now I'm on pole, but I'm only 6/100ths of a second faster than second place. All right, folks, here we go. It's race time. There's a big long gap. There was a glitch in the lobby. It took forever to load. We lost a bunch of racers. We had 18. We had 18 people. 10 of them didn't have the patience to stick it out. I qualified on pole. And so, since that doesn't happen that often, you're damn right I stuck around to wait and make sure this thing pans out, because pole positions are hard to come by, and I sure as hell ain't going to just jump out of the lobby and lose that. So now we are in the race. Hopefully that transition from the end of qualifying to here is going to be nice and tight, because I'm going to trim that out for sure. Everybody's waiting for me. They're probably asking to kick me already, so let's get to the race before they make it happen. All right, we're looking for a good, clean start, baby. Sync it up. Oh, this is a funky lobby. Here we go. Green light. Pretty decent wheel spin. And this guy's going to take the inside. And I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to go outside and keep it clean. He wasn't able to get around me, so we're going to go. There's 3 different varieties of these P3 cars. As you can see, the one behind me is different. I couldn't tell you what they are difference-wise, what the differences are. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. This is the one I always grab, though, for some reason. The car to my right, I know that car, the car that's right here getting ready to pass me, I know that it's less horsepower, but it is quite a bit lighter. So these are some sort of like spec, I don't want to say spec car because they're not exactly the same, but you've got certain requirements. It's a horsepower to weight formula that they use. GT3 is the same way. If you look at the GT3 cars, if one GT3 car weighs more than another, you'll notice that car will have more horsepower, and the cars that weigh less will have a little bit less. They want to try to keep the formula of a certain weight, horsepower to weight ratio, to keep it fair. So this gentleman, we're running in second now. I qualified on pole. I conceded my first place to this guy. He had a clean pass, and I let him go because that's racing. And the damage is on to 100%. So if we tangle, we're going to wreck, and we're going to damage our cars. and I don't want to do that. Oh man, I took that way, woo, almost lost it. Didn't take turn 1 very cleanly. But yeah, damage is on, so unless we want to wreck and both be out of the race, we're going to keep it tight. Keep it clean. We got a guy challenging me for second. That's okay. The guy who qualified second was only 6/100s, but he took off. And I think the guy who qualified third even did too. I think they might have both taken off. We lost a bunch of people because the lobby was just taking forever. That last corner is a really cool, neat corner. You gotta, it's all about slow in, fast out. That's a really cool corner where you gotta actually, you have to come in slow. If you don't, you're in the dirt. And then you kind of, it's almost got a slingshot effect to it. It's pretty cool. And this is a deceptively tricky, it's a, I guess technically it's a chicane, but it's like one of the longest chicanes I've ever been in. So here we are, wheel to wheel. Try to outbrake them. I'm gonna hug the apex. Try not to concede. And we're gonna take that last corner in third gear. And now we got first place back with 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go. And I'm going to try to build a gap. But honestly, this guy in second, he's doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on. But now that I've got a little bit of breathing room, I think I might be able to build a decent gap. I'm a second faster than my fastest lap so far of the race. And now that I'm not going to have to jockey for position, I should be able to start building that gap. And that's your protection, that's your buffer. You know, if you can build a big gap in a race, that is that little buffer that if you make a mistake can save you. You know, if you get 10 seconds ahead of the pack and you get into a corner and you didn't, you know, you maybe spin out or something, those 10 seconds will let you get back on the track without getting fast. So it's all about building that gap. And it doesn't matter what place you're in. You want to, if you're in 17th, you want to build a gap between you and 18th. You know, whoever's behind you, you want to build the largest gap you can between your car and theirs. But second place, he's doing a good job. He's holding on. He's doing a good job. He's not letting me get away. So I'm going to have to keep pushing and trying to keep it clean. And it's harder sometimes to be in the lead than it is to be the hunter. The guy that's under pressure with the guy hunting you, it'll definitely, can definitely be tricky. I braked a little early on purpose. I let him by. And then I just kind of came back underneath him. Wasn't trying to outbrake him. And I've got the inside line again. So I'm gonna keep this as tight as I can. I don't want to try to, I'm not trying to bump no one. I'm not trying to get in a wreck. I'm trying to race as clean as I can. And hopefully this guy can appreciate that's what I'm trying to do. Try to take the optimum racing line in this corner. Oh, he's gonna take the inside. Ooh, we got a little bit of rubbing going on, but nothing major, no damage to the car. Just a nice little tap. And that's totally fine. That's racing. There we go. Penultimate corner. I was able to keep a hold of that apex a little better than him. And he went way off the track. But he's managed to stay on. Or to get it back in line. And here I went ahead and outbraked him there. I went ahead and braked. You could tell when he starts to brake, when he hits the brakes and his car makes that, you know, parachute effect where it just starts to, you you know, you put your brakes on just a fraction after you see that happen with him, you know. And I'm gonna go inside as possible, as much as I possibly can, keep this as clean as I can. I love racing. I like clean racing, you know. Pass somebody, you need to earn it. I don't like the bumping people out of the way and all that crap that people do. Woo! Look how tight that was. I squeezed him out a little bit. Thankfully, he was aware I was there, so we didn't make any contact. But that was really close. Good, clean racing. I like it when I get lobbies like this, man, where guys just they get it. They like to race, and they try to keep it tight, keep it clean, competitive, and fun. Yeah, races like this are fun. I wish, too bad the whole field didn't stick around. People just impatient, which there's not like a ton of lobbies though. I'm like, you guys, an 18 racer lobby, that's awesome. Like, I just saw all the lobbies. There wasn't really any this big, and the car and track combinations weren't as compelling. And I was like, why not just stick it out? It wasn't that big of a deal. It was like 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that kind of sucks. But like, don't act like any of you are all that busy that you couldn't, you know, if you're sitting around playing video games on a Saturday morning, you got time on your hands. You could have stuck it out. But whatever. Ooh, almost oversteered, almost spun her out. That corner is easy to eat it on. You're coming uphill into a hairpin. It's a tricky turn. This is a really cool one. You get that apex, and then you kind of slingshot out. That's the key on that one. It's a really cool effect, especially in a high downforce, high horsepower car. You really get that slingshot effect. It's kind of incredible. It's exaggerated in a high downforce, high horsepower type of car. It's not going to be as dramatic in this kind of car. This car doesn't have the power, doesn't have the downforce, doesn't have the grip, but same principle, just not as strong. Here we go. We're going to keep it third gear. We're going to, ooh, I think that felt good. Look at the timer up there. See the lap timer? Man, I gained so many tenths. And I've always wondered, you know, I always worry about getting my lap annulled. I always worry about getting a penalty from cutting that too tight. But I think that was just right, man. That was perfect. And that's the angle I'm going to take that turn from here on out. That was just right. So you can grab all that apex and then all that little green infield right there. You could take it all, apparently. That was cool. That instantly shaved 3/10. As soon as I made that corner, it jumped 3/10. I was 3/10 faster than my fastest lap. So that was something cool. That's something to put in the mental notebook for the future when I'm racing here in any car. Second place is making a go at me. He's 0.9 seconds. He's almost a full second behind me. And I gotta try to build this gap. I'm gonna blip the throttle here. I'm gonna keep this car rotating. I got a 1.3 second, 1.4 second gap. I'm gonna keep building. I feel like with him, it's, you know, 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Oh, it's hard. That's really, you know what? That's that line that I took the previous lap. It's not easy to nail. That's deceptively hard. It's not easy to get that line and get through that corner like I did. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm 2.4 seconds now ahead of second. Now look at, see in the straight, look at that gap kind of, it was starting to narrow. It seems like in the straight he's got a little bit more than me. Like, I wonder if his downforce is a little bit lower, or maybe his gearing's just slightly different. But whatever it is in the straight, it seems like he's able to grab a little bit of that back. But yeah, it feels like with this guy behind me, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So I'll build like a bigger gap in the lap, and then it seems like he gets a chunk of it back. And then the next lap, you know, more of a gap, and he gets a chunk of it back. But each time, at the end of the lap, that gap is widening, and that's what you need. This is a good corner. This is the kind of corner I see a lot of people, especially for some reason, GT3 cars, they have a really hard time with that corner. That weird downhill, increasing or decreasing radii, I don't know, whatever the term is. Something about that turn, it really is hard in a GT3. And I see a lot of guys, if their setup's not right, I see a lot of guys, ooh, look at that. Woo, I took that really, man, I really took a chunk of that inside. But yeah, that one corner, I see for some reason with GT3 it's a really tricky turn, and I see guys, especially in the Porsche, if they don't have their setup right and they get a little too overzealous with the throttle, I've seen a lot of guys lose it on that turn, which was forever ago now. Oh, that was a little bit too much. We're a little bit outside of the track limits, but maybe they're off, because I feel like I've grabbed a couple of these turns. I feel like I've kind of taken a bit more than you normally would as far as the track limit, and I haven't gotten any kind of slap on the wrist or warning. So maybe. So we'll see. Maybe that one line I took for that last turn, maybe that's not going to work in most lobbies. Maybe this is just a really nice, lenient lobby where you can just race and they're not worrying about if you step, you know, car length off the track. Okay, penultimate corner. Penultimate. Oh, wow, try to keep it going. My tires are wearing out. You can see in the bottom right my tire indicator, tire wear indicator. We've got 41 seconds. Last lap it says 2.57 ahead of second place. We just got to run a nice clean lap, and just got to keep the car on the track and point it in the right direction for a win. I like me a win, it's nice. I don't get nearly as many now that I'm running on the computer. On console, absolutely. I was getting those dubs left and right, man. I was tearing it up, but a whole different world on PC. Alright, 1.9. Here's the corner that eats the GT3 cars alive. In an F1 car, this right here is almost flat. If you enter that right, it's almost a flat out corner. And maybe if you set your downforce all the way, maybe you can. Maybe in a Mercedes or something, it is all the way. It is a full pedal to the metal corner. Alright, time's up, and this should be it when I cross the finish line. There we go, cool down lap. Alright, that was fun. I don't get this a lot. A little bit. I win some here and there, but I don't get the first place and qualifying on pole. That's a nice combination to have. That means you really nailed it. And it looks like I passed the start-finish line 2.8 seconds ahead of second place. Yeah, that was fun. It was a good little short race. We started out with a pretty big lobby, 17 people, 18 people initially after qualifying was over. But there was like a glitch in the lobby, and we lost a bunch of people. Started the race with I don't know, 7 or something, 8 people. And by the end of the race, we only had like 5. Oh well, I qualified on pole. I ain't giving that away. I'm freaking racing that race. I don't give a shit if it ended up just being me in second place or me by myself. I'm like, I got pole. I'm sticking in that freaking lobby till that race is over. So anyway, that was a fun little shorty, and I'll catch y'all next time. This has been Fat Dad Racing. I'm your resident host, Fat Dad. Until next time.